What if I told you the strongest weapon you'll ever carry isn't in your hands? It's in your head. It's not your muscles, not your resume, not your talents. It's your mind. And right now, chances are, your mind is soft, untrained, reactive, quick to break under pressure. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can harden your mind. You can build something so unshakable, so unbreakable that no storm, no failure, no insult, no setback can touch you. This isn't a motivational slogan. It's a process, a practice, a war. David Goggins calls it callousing the mind, and he didn't learn it from books or TED Talks. He learned it from pain, from trauma, from years of suffering, and refusing to let that suffering define him. He became one of the toughest men alive, not because life was easy, but because it wasn't. And he used every scar, every failure, every ounce of humiliation to forge something stronger than steel inside his own head. If you want to change your life, you have to start there, because nothing changes until your mind does. You've probably heard the phrase, tough times don't last, tough people do. But what makes someone truly tough? It's not a six-pack, it's not a military badge. It's what happens in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, and your own voice is trying to convince you to quit. And let's be honest, most people lose that battle every single day. They hit snooze on their alarm because it's warm under the covers. They skip the workout because they're tired. They avoid the difficult conversation because it's uncomfortable. They break down at the first sign of pressure, not because they're weak, but because they never trained their mind to endure. Goggins didn't start as a Navy SEAL or an ultra-endurance athlete. He started as a broken kid, abused, bullied, overweight, and afraid of the world. He had every excuse to give up, but something inside him refused to stay down. He realized early on, life wasn't going to hand him peace. If he wanted to stop suffering, he couldn't wait for circumstances to change. He had to become someone that pain couldn't break. So he started small, brutally small, running with shin splints, studying for hours even though he could barely read, waking up at 4 a.m. to train while working night shifts as a cockroach exterminator. And every time he pushed through the pain, something strange happened. His mind got tougher. It didn't scream as loud. It didn't panic as quickly. It didn't give up as easily. That's the principle. You can condition your mind the same way you condition your body. But here's the catch. You have to do it on purpose. You have to seek out discomfort. You have to choose pain when comfort is an option. You have to turn toward the thing that scares you and say, let's go. Every time you do something hard, something you don't want to do, something that hurts, you're laying down a mental callus. Not to numb yourself, but to strengthen yourself, to remind your brain that it doesn't run the show. You do. This isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming disciplined. You don't need to feel like doing something to do it. You don't need motivation. You need a reason and a decision. Look around. Most people are mentally soft. They let their emotions lead them. They run from fear. They avoid hard truths. And so when life punches them in the mouth, they crumble. But the people who can take those punches and keep going, the ones who stare failure in the face and refuse to blink, they're the ones who have trained, not physically, mentally. They've sat with discomfort, chosen discipline over pleasure, shown up when no one else would, and in doing so, they built something rare, a mind that doesn't fold. Goggins talks about the accountability mirror. Every night, he looked himself in the eyes and called out his own excuses. No sugarcoating, no fluff, just truth. Too fat, too slow, too weak. Not to shame himself, but to confront reality. Because only when you face the truth can you change it. And most people, they're terrified of the truth. They hide from it with distractions, with fake confidence, with shallow goals. But if you want an unbreakable mind, you have to go the other way, toward the truth, toward the pain, toward the thing you've been running from. Every morning you have a choice: obey your feelings or obey your mission. If your mission is to become stronger, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you have to start honoring that more than you honor your comfort. When your mind says, I don't want to, that's your cue. That's your signal. Do it anyway. Not because it's glamorous, not because you'll get praise, but because every time you do, you're hardening the muscle that matters most, your will. And here's the beautiful thing. No one can give this to you. and no one can take it away. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account or where you were born or what mistakes you've made. Mental toughness is forged in choice. You either step into the fire or you don't. You either rise when it hurts or you don't. You either finish what you started or you don't. You can build a mind so strong that it becomes your home, your shield, your edge. A place you retreat to when life gets loud. A place where fear has no power. A place where excuses don't exist. But to get there, you have to bleed. Metaphorically or physically, you have to suffer. Because comfort never built warriors. Goggins once said, "We live in a world where mediocrity is often rewarded. But the truth is, most of us are only living at 40% of our potential." Just think about that. 40%. That means you haven't even scratched the surface of who you could be. But you'll never access the other 60% by doing what's easy. You access it by doing what hurts, what stretches you, what humbles you. That's how you build an unbreakable mind. You start showing up differently. You stop asking for life to be easier and start asking yourself to be better. You stop blaming and start owning. You stop waiting for the right time and realize the time is now. So here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, pick one hard thing, one thing that pushes you mentally. Cold showers, early wake-ups, brutally honest journaling, long-distance runs. It doesn't matter what, as long as it hurts a little. Then do it, every day, without fail. And as you do, talk to yourself differently. Don't let your mind wander into victimhood. Don't accept the lie that you can't handle it. Don't negotiate with weakness. Speak like a warrior. Act like a warrior. Think like a warrior. Every day you show up for yourself, you're rewriting your identity. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't break when life gets hard, because you've already been through worse, by choice. And someday, when everything around you is falling apart, when others are panicking, quitting, freezing, you'll be calm. Not because life is easier for you, but because your mind is harder, because you trained it to be. So build the calluses, do the hard things, embrace the pain, and remember, it's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving it to the one person you can never escape, the one in the mirror. That's how you build an unbreakable mind. Not in theory, in reality, in sweat, in silence, in suffering, day by day, choice by choice, pain by pain, until one day, nothing can touch you, because your mind is made of fire, and you finally know who you are. If this message lit something up inside you, don't let that fire go out. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been stuck in their own head, waiting for a sign. This is it. And if you're on this journey, the journey of becoming someone who can't be broken, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button to support this mission. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next step in your growth. And leave a comment below. What's one hard thing you're committing to this week to callous your mind? Let's build a community where pain becomes power and weakness becomes fuel. This isn't motivation. This is transformation. Let's get to work.